heard you say somewhere, I think it was in some kind of an interview or talk you were given, where you said they will either meddle with our elections or they will spy on us, and then 5 years later they'll tell us, oh, by the way, we're planning on doing this, or something like that. What were you referencing with China when you talked about that? Do you remember that?
I think what that was relating to is we usually don't detect them in our networks. They've usually been in our networks to upwards to 5 years. 5 years they've been there.
When you say
before we realize
networks,
it,
what do you mean by that?
that is, I'm talking if you're a company, if you're a Fortune 500 that deals in technology, and you've got intellectual property, then the potential of them being inside your network, right, your cyber world, your intranet that is securing all of your secrets as a company, there's been times where when the investigation comes later on, they realize that they've been in there for 5 years before they were actually caught. And I think that's what you were kind of referring to. And that's what I'm saying is a lot of times when you talk about hackers in the cyber world, you know, they are on the offense, which puts us always on the defense. They are always creating the ways to get in, and then we are always playing catch up on creating ways to keep them out.
They is China or they is hackers?
They as hackers.
Okay,
yeah.
got it.
I mean, you geopolitically, we know that there's state-sponsored hacking going on, but at the end of the day, it's hacking. Now, a lot of times they're hacking and collecting all this information, and you're like, what are they doing with it, right? OPM. You heard about OPM, the Office of Personnel Management for the government. You know, I was one of those guys that got a letter from the Department of Defense that said, oh, hey, by the way, when the Chinese hacked OPM, you were one of the people that they collected all your information, right? My personnel jacket, you know, potential medical information. I mean, you name it, it's in there.
Why though? Why do they want to know stuff on you?
Well, that is definitely the multi-million, billion-dollar question. And I think, I mean, in my small little brain, it's like, well, if we just collect, and then they aggregate all that information and put it into all these different little folders, you know, maybe one day, someone that's running, you know, for a certain political office, you know, 10, 20 years from now, well, they've already got a whole bunch of information on them that might not be exactly something that person wants out, you know?